Hello everyone, welcome back. So yes, I know I kind of hinted in the last video, or pretty much came out and said I was getting more. So I got 3 more Stanley planes. This is probably going to be the last of them. I know I always say things like that, but I didn't see any other Stanleys that I thought I could do a decent restoration job on. Although now that I think about it, I saw something that said made in Japan, and tools that come out of Japan are pretty cool. So I maybe might get that one. But what we got here is this is a Stanley number 118, and these were advertised as like indestructible. It's not cast iron; it's all steel, and they were kind of geared toward like shop classes and whatnot. And I think, again, trying to research Stanley stuff, it's proving to be very difficult. Okay, I'm gonna say somewhere around 1933 to about 83 they produced these, and I've seen all different versions of them, all called the 118. Some had like a tin or metal plate here that said Stanley 118. This is actually another 118 without the mark on the side, but the blade is marked 118, but it's different. The parts aren't even interchangeable. So kind of weird. It looks like this one's japanned on the lever cap. This one isn't. So yeah, it's kind of got a bunch of variations on these 118s. So then I have here a Stanley number 110. This one didn't have a knob, but there was another Stanley there that was kind of destroyed. This one is not really in good shape either. It's got a lot of pitting on it. It's actually got like little chunks taken out from the pitting, and I think there actually might be a crack right here. Yeah, this is pretty much a crack. So I'm probably not gonna restore this one. I don't really feel comfortable kind of welding it, but I kind of bought it for the knob. This knob actually is in great shape. So for $2, I got a new knob, and I'm gonna put this knob on my 220, and I'll save that one I restored. But I'll keep this for parts. I may actually restore this part. See if I could. Well, the blade is pretty nasty too, but yeah, like I said, with the crack here and this very, very deep pitting, I'm not too interested in trying to restore that. I mean, weld it up and everything. So, like I said, pretty much a parts plane. And the one thing that I really wanted was this knob. So I got the knob. I'll refinish that. And then these 118s, the way they work is, that comes right off. You got your blade. This is the blade that's marked, yeah, Stanley number 118. And then the rest of this, the depth lever, it's actually got like a little C-clip on it. I think this one might not have the C-clip. So yeah, I'm guessing these are all different years. Yeah, this definitely doesn't have it. So this is like the same mechanism that was on the 220 that I did. This is in pretty decent shape. Nickel plating is a little bit missing there. This you can't remove, as far as I know. They welded that in, and they tack welded in this front knob. So I don't see any other markings. And like I said, you can't interchange the parts. They don't fit. Now this one here is the one that's marked 118 on the side. And this comes off. And this blade just says Stanley made in the USA. And this has a different type of lever here where there's a C-clip on the end of this holding that in, so it can't be removed. So it's definitely a different setup. Again, I'm guessing the first one I showed you is maybe a newer one. Again, I don't know. It's hard to figure out. But I'm going to restore one of these, and it's going to be this one right here. Now, as far as the nickel plating goes, again, I saw some of them that said this is brass with nickel plating on it. I don't know how I would nickel plate just this knob, because this is peened over, so you can't remove it. I guess there's probably a way you just hang that in a solution without the rest of it touching it. But I don't see any type of finish on this, so I think this was just a polished steel. Whereas this one I can see Japanning in there. So yeah, I'm only going to finish one of them. Well, at least that's what I think anyway. I mean, I might do both. I mean, there's a remnants of an old label here. I don't really see anything on this one that could have been. I might restore them both, but I'm going to focus on this one first. The one that has the stampings on the side, 118. And use that as my example. And then, like I said, maybe down the road, I'll redo this one, because it is another version of it as far as I could tell. Alright, we got that back in there. Put our blade back. Man, this blade is toasted. So there you have it. Two 118s and one number 110 that I got for the knob. So I'm going to work on this one. I'm going to remove all the rust, and I'll bring you back and I'll show you what this looks like with all the rust removed. And for this puppy, I might remove the rust on this one too, and just to see what it looks like, and see how these things come out. Like I said, I'm thinking about maybe starting some nickel plating, but we'll have to see. Alright, so I'll bring you back when they're all cleaned up. Alright, quick update while the other plane is soaking in its vinegar and salt bath. I cleaned up the knob, and the funny thing is, it doesn't fit on the 220. I don't know why. I'm going to guess that this here is a little bit taller on this plane than on the 220. Because it fits perfectly on here, but on a 220 it doesn't, the threads don't catch. Okay, so that was a wash, but hey, it's always good to have a parts plane. So that's with that one. Now this is the 118 I was going to restore, the one that had the steel cap, and then I took the little C-clip off. This is what it looks like. Some people call them an E-clip. I call them a C-clip, and pulled out the adjustment lever, and I noticed something. This block is broken from rust. You're probably not going to be able to see it, but right over here, this looks like, see this? There's two grooves here. On the bottom, it looks like there was two more grooves, so it sort of was like an H shape. And I'm going to guess they were either pressed in there. No, I'm going to guess that this is an extra piece of metal right here. So it was probably placed in there, and then this was placed over it, and then tack welded in, or welded in, or even maybe this might have been welded in, but I don't think so because it's very loose. But however it was held in there, it rusted down at the bottom. Now, it can be repaired. If all the rust is cleaned off and then, just tack welded again, like in these corners or something. But I decided to go with the other one. Yeah, this one's actually got a lot of damage in here. You really can't see because of the rust. So my choice was restore the other one that has the painted cap, and again leave this one either as a parts or possibly restore this one in the future. But like I said, I just wanted to have one example of this plane. So that's a quick update. When the other one comes out of its vinegar bath, I will show you what it looks like cleaned up. Alright, so I got it out of the vinegar and salt bath, and I noticed a few things. Let's take a look. Now I did oil these because I took them out late at night and I wasn't going to finish working on them. So here is the depth lever, depth screw. I did a little steel wool on this to take off the flaking of the nickel plating. There's very, very little left. I may actually just remove it and polish the steel on here, and then maybe another day if I ever do some nickel plating, I'll re-nickel that. But it's got to be cleaned up with a wire brush, so that came out really nice. Here is the iron. All the rust is gone. You could see where the high carbon steel is at the end. It kind of etches it, sort of like when you do Damascus. So I'll clean this up. I'm going to very carefully stay away from this area where it identifies it as a 118. So that came out nice. And then we have the rest of it. So this nickel plating is flaking off, but the rust is off. I'll probably do the same thing and just leave it like a polished steel, and then I'll put some wax on it. One thing that I noticed was, I don't think it was japanned, because the paint started to flake a little bit. It didn't act the same way it did on the cast iron, so I just removed it. I got some cleaning up to do, and then flatten the sole, clean up the sides, and then I'll give it a nice paint job. But it looks pretty stable underneath. And this one had a label on the front, so I'm going to try to recreate a label. I think it's pretty much the same exact label that was on the 220 that I did. So I'm going to make one similar to that. So here's where we're at. Get some final cleaning and painting, and I'll bring you back and we'll put this puppy together. Alright, so it's all cleaned up, painted, came out really nice. I did add another little label. It says Stanley made 118 USA. Now this one did have a label on it. It was kind of half of it, but I could see part of the Stanley and made. So I'm assuming it was the same type of label like I did on the 220. Came out nice. I just have it sanded to a 600. Got a little humidity going on here. It's just a 600 brushed finish. This took a lot of work. I actually had to use a draw file. But it looks good. The nickel plating did all flake off on the top of this. And I just did it brush finish, again up to a 600. Maybe one day I'll learn some nickel plating, but that came out nice. And the cap, the same thing, 600, came out nice. And the iron, this side was pretty pitted, so I had to go down pretty far. I went to 600 again on this side. This side I kind of just did a Scotch-Brite. So let's see her together. Almost put it in upside down. There she is, the 118, the indestructible all steel Stanley hand plane. Now, I have a piece of wood here, like the other ones I showed you me just doing it here, but I'm actually going to take this over to my vise, and I'm going to put a bull nose on this. If you don't know what a bull nose is, basically just rounding it over. So I want to show you what this plane could do. So let me reset up the camera, and I'll bring you over there. Alright, let's see if I got a good adjustment on it. Look at that, huh? Look at those curls. We get a little deeper cut. Alright, I'll bring you over to the table. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so that worked out great. So again, just a quick bull nose. Some really nice shavings, nice curls. I don't know if you noticed the sound, heard the sound. That's how you can tell you got everything tuned up pretty good. So for those of you that are going to say, hey, he was using a metal vise to clamp wood, yes, I was. I do have a wood vise that I use for woodworking projects, but it's in a weird place that I can't really film too good, and this is just a piece of scrap. So before anybody says anything. So there you go. This is the third plane in the plane project. I'll try to make a playlist. So at this point, the other two that I showed, they have way too much work to be done to them, so I'm not going to be doing them now. Like I said, maybe I'll revisit it in the future. But so I have 3 examples now. I am going to look for one that's exactly like the one that my dad had that's damaged, and restore that as this is the type of plane that my dad had. I may use some parts from my dad's, you know, on it. So there you have it. The 118. So thanks for coming along, everyone. I appreciate it. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. You know I'm going to say it. I'm sending you all much love and appreciation. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are staying safe. I hope you all enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next one.